So you can see that inflation is there, but you can't really measure it. But you know it's going up, and it's going up like in Turkey. Food prices go up 10% like every month here.
All right, everyone, welcome again to 2-Bit Idiots. Bitcoin Brendo here. I have Stacking Hats next to me. This week we have Efe. Did I say that right? Efe is a Bitcoin maxi, I would say, from Turkey. So we're really interested to have him on and have a chat to us about, I guess, his story. How are you, Efe?
I'm fine. How are you guys doing? Thank you for having me.
Not at all. So you're sort of middle of the day in Turkey just now?
Yeah, it's 1 o'clock.
1 o'clock. All right. So we're sort of in the evening in Australia. So it's the scheduling of pods when you actually try and go around the world is more difficult. But mate, thank you very much. Really appreciate you making the time.
It's my pleasure.
So for anybody listening, we've got sort of three angles, I think, with this one. We want to hear a bit of Efe's story and the Bitcoin story, and then we'll go into a little bit about the Turkey situation. I think these two things might combine, and then beyond that, we are obviously kind of new to the podcasting, and you potentially have some ideas there for yourself. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll maybe go into some of that at the end, and I think so. So we'll maybe ask a few questions to begin with, and then you'll maybe ask us a few questions near the end, and then other than that, it just wherever it takes us, mate.
First of all, what you are doing as Bitcoin maxis, plebs, let's say, for everyday people is more important rather than listening Stefan Vera or Seyfedin Amos, because some of the people may not connect themselves to these people because they are professionals and they are Australian economy people, right? So I listened to all your podcasts, so I think it has real value in it for everyday people like me and possibly like you guys. So thanks for your contribution. I know it will go further. I'm trying to contribute as much as I can. So let's say by, first thank you for all you're doing.
That's great to hear. That's really kind of you to say.
I like your conversations, to be honest.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
We're delighted. Listen, if somebody's listening to us, we didn't know if anybody would listen at all.
Me too, actually.
So we get into that a little bit later on. But Brendo and I have had conversations just between us a lot, and we just needed an outlet to bring it, record the conversation and put out there. And if anybody likes it, then they like it. And if it brings something to somebody, then to hear that somebody somewhere in another country is getting some value is incredible.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, on Twitter, I have like 900 followers from all over the world. And I don't know why they are following me, to be honest. But they are doing it, so it's okay. Yeah. All right. Let me give some information about myself.
Great, thank you.
To start, I am Efe, like you said. I'm a Turkish Bitcoin maximalist pleb, let's say. I've been falling down into rabbit hole since 2017. It was, most of the time it was, it started with Bitcoin, but it transited into shitcoin trading and, blockchain nonsense. I thought blockchain had a value in it, but it doesn't. It was all wrong. I was all wrong. I haven't lost any money, if you call the USD as money or Turkish Lira, but, I could. I don't know. So I believe that it's a process of, most of the people getting into, starting with, shitcoin trading, trying to find the 100x coin. 99% of those people gonna fail. But, it's a process that should be done, maybe. I don't know. As you said, I've been, into Bitcoin like since 17, and as you guys know, I'm trying my best to, contributing to the space. On Bitcoin.org, I am the one who translated the Bitcoin Whitepaper, the original one, into Turkish.
Oh, nice.
As you said, I'm, trying to make a podcast, translating the useful resources into Turkish, because language barrier is really a thing for Turkish people here. Most of the people, they talk a little bit English. They understand a little bit English, but not at all. So I think I'll be doing this for my people, to be vocal in Bitcoin maximalism or Bitcoin space. Yeah, that's all. I think
that's awesome.
That's okay. So where I go with that? Can I actually go back to the very beginning then? So if you say you were 2017, what attracted you to begin with? Was it just the run up in 17 that got everybody's attention, and then that you got into the shitcoin side of things, or?
Yeah. In 17, I was working at a company. I'm a software engineer. I was working as a developer, or let's say test automation specialist at a firm. And in my third year, every year they increase your salary at like 10% or something. In the third year, I calculated that my salary was decreasing in terms of USD. Even though I'm getting paid more in Turkish lira.
Yeah.
So I think there was an aha moment for me. I had to do something, because it won't last long. I mean, I can't be working on these salaries for the rest of my life for 30, 40 years, because there was some inflation back in not like that, not like now, but it was like really 20% or something like that. So my salary was going down. So I had to buy something, own something, to keep up with the inflation. Maybe not, to be rich or be wealthy, but just to keep up with the inflation.
Yes.
To keep up the buying power of my salary. So it was the moment which I realized that I had to own something, But with my salary, I can't own, a good house, or a beach house or something, or even a car, or even a used car. So I read something like, it was some Bitcoin thing. It's going up like, it went from $1 to, it was like 17,000 back then when I bought it.
Yeah.
So it went 19,000. So I thought that I'm going to be rich as fuck, but then it started falling down. But from now, I see that it was the best time, to buy Bitcoin, because right after, when it fails and you keep buying it, you'll be wealthier in the near future. But when you buy it and it goes, up, and you won't be buying that much of that asset,
Yeah, absolutely right. I mean, I think the
for according to your question, it was just a hedge for inflation, let me say.
Yeah, it's I think seeing the, and nobody likes this, but seeing the price going down is that you do one of two things at that point. You think you're wrong and you just bail, or you think, hang on a second, I really need to learn what is going on here. And if you do the second approach, the conviction in a bear market that you build from the bear market is so much more than the conviction that you'll ever build from it's great to watch the price going up, of course it is, but in terms of your conviction and your knowledge, the bear market is actually better. So having experience, I mean, I was the same. I was buying up at 18, 19,000, thinking I was a genius, and then watched it go all the way back to wherever it went to, 3 or whatever it was.
Then you thought that you were an idiot, right?
Absolutely. And I still question every day.
Yeah.
2-bit idiots.
2-bit, absolutely.
Yeah. Let's make it 3.
Great. So you said I wasn't aware. So firstly, the 10% increase on your salary, is that because inflation runs hot in Turkey anyway? So everybody always gets quite what myself in Australia would consider a significant increase. Yeah, but people aren't aware. Well, sorry, they'll be aware of prices getting more, but do they think that they're getting behind when they're getting their pay increase, or do they just not join the dots?
Well, they don't realize there's a way out, in a way.
Yeah, in a way you're right, but inflation is personal. It's subjective.
Yes.
Okay. For example, most important thing for me is Bitcoin. So Bitcoin went up like 300% for this year, or yeah, it started like 10K. It went up to 60K. Oh, it's 600%. So my inflation rate for me is 600. Okay, everything went up 6x for me. So you can't really measure it, but you can, see, because we are all buying things, food, and we are going some places, paying for the transportation and all. So you can see that inflation is there, but you can't really measure it. But it's going up, and it's going up like in Turkey. It's food prices go up 10% like every month here.
So go on.
Yeah.
So as far as your sort of family and friends, are they on board with you, or are you like a lot of kind of Bitcoiners that tend to be kind of just yelling at the wall?
I'm trying to convince them all, but first of all, I told you that I was in Bitcoin like in 17. We were all trading shitcoins. Most of my friends start shitcoining too. Okay, some of them increased their wealth, some kind, but then it went back to zero, so they lost money. Then they exited from the market. They didn't do their let's say due diligence, so they haven't done your own research. There's a thing in high inflation. Okay, it's in Bitcoin that they're saying that you have to have a low high preference, but high inflation makes your time preference high. You are trying to run faster than inflation. But when you are trying to run faster than inflation, you can fall to the ground. So people who are living in high inflation nations, have to have a mindset, have to change their mindset into low time preference. It's not easy to do, but because it's going. The food prices, car prices, house prices, it's going up like every month. And Bitcoin, there are some months the price go even down. Okay, so it's not really easy to handle the situation for everyday people like you and me. But I'm trying to learn more about Bitcoin because of that reason, because you have conviction. I mean, when you have so much information about the asset or the thing, when you see that no one can, really fuck up the money that you have, press more of it. You see that in the future, its buying power have to go up because of the, supply and demand economics. It has to go up. But, maybe it won't do it for a year or for 2 years. And it's all good for me, okay? I'm not that happy that, the price is going 60K, 70K. I would expect it, or I would really want it to go down to 1K or even $1. I want to stack. Yeah, I want to stack that more because, but that's how it is. When a nation or a big company starts buying all of it, if you are selling it on market, you should really be. You shouldn't be so comfortable about selling it, because when Michael Saylor bought it from you, he won't be selling for 100 years. So good luck on buying that on lower prices.
So
it's too risky.
But
I'm saying that.
Before there was Bitcoin, I'm going back a bit, obviously, but was the idea of my ignorance, so my apologies, but was the average Turkish person, did they hold Turkish Lira and other currencies they considered to be strong, or is that just not within the realms of possibility for most people?
Yeah, I got what to say. There is a generational gameplay. Okay, that's why. That's what my mother and dad was doing in 90s, 80s. Okay, you get your salary in Turkish lira, you pay for your rent, for your food, and you immediately buy USD with it. You immediately, what they're doing, they're not trying to increase their wealth, but they're trying to hedge against USD going up, because when USD goes up, our food prices go up because
Yep.
oil prices go up, you know. And when you know the XY,
Yeah.
you know what the XY is, you know, it's USD against other nations basket. So when that goes up, our prices go up too. So, you know, everything's going up against yourself. So they think that they are buying USD, and they are thinking, my people think that they are investment. They are not investment, because your USD amount is staying the same. They are just trying to hedge against the USD, you know.
Yeah. So
going
what
up
you're
against
saying
Turkish
is
lira.
that people excuse me, people instinctively understand why one money is better than another money, and once people start to look at Bitcoin, you know, with their eyes open and a willingness to learn, they are instinctively going to understand why Bitcoin is a better money than the Australian dollar, the Turkish lira, or the US dollar. But it's just getting people to have the willingness to look. That's really all it is, and a bit of time to pass,
Yeah, you you probably don't know, but there is a tradition in weddings, you know, in Turkish weddings, you give gold to a newlywed people, you know. It's a tradition. And the woman who gets the gold, you know, she doesn't sell. She doesn't sell for her lifetime, let's say. So it's really surprising for me to know for Turkish people not getting the real value of Bitcoin, to be honest. But I think there are some aspects, because, you know, you can see it, you can touch it. How do I buy it? Where do I keep it? No, most of Turkish people say that one day I woke up, there is no Bitcoin. Who am I? You know, will I call? You know, for that.
So, sorry, please.
So
what that says to me is that there needs to be and it's the same everywhere in the world, a huge education piece done for everyday people. And, you know, who better than you? Like, I mean, we all have to just stand up and start talking. And one of us is going to strike a chord with people. And like, some people might like something I've got to say. Other people might prefer the way, you know, Brendan takes, you know, the way he looks at it. So, and that's okay. It doesn't matter who it's coming from. It just, all that matters is that it's coming from somebody. And obviously, you know, Turkey is in a more precarious situation. I mean, we're in Australia. We're very fortunate, and I'm Scottish. You know, I was very fortunate, and you know, none of us live in Venezuela, or you know, Zimbabwe, or places that have Argentina, places that have really gone in a very quickly in an inflationary sense. But Turkey is up there, and so for Turkish people, they just need the education piece. They need somebody to start talking. And as I say, who better than you?
Yeah, on that, what kind of media coverage is happening over there as far as Bitcoin goes? Is it fairly widespread as number goes up, or I mean, I know your president has, you know, quote unquote, declared war on Bitcoin.
You know, people all around the world is taking Recep Tayyip Erdogan more seriously probably than we do. Okay, because he's going down. There will be probably an election, an early election next year, because it should be like the year after. But you know, he wants to, you know, make it quick, because economy is going down quick. So before it happens, you know, he wants to get elected again. There is no media coverage. You know, we are reading in-house the most, you know, read newspaper. You know, it's, you know, on its economics page. It's, you know, USD, euro. You know, is, let's say, $9 to $4, and there is Bitcoin now. But the news is like that blockchain is going to change the world. You know, Ethereum and all that. You know, there is no such thing as Bitcoin maximalism. There is no such thing as Bitcoin maximalism, and they are not covering Bitcoin. They are covering some Bitcoin news, like El Salvador is buying Bitcoin now. It's okay, but they don't make news of how it's going to affect people.
It's still all grouped in with the whole
how,
the
you
wider
know,
crypto kind of talk, I suppose.
Yeah. It's fiat news, you know. It's fiat news. So when you pay them, you'll get your news. You know, if you make a coin, let's say brand
Ooh,
coin,
there's an idea.
you know, when you pay it, they'll make it. Yeah, they'll make a news for it, and you know, you can, you know, express that it's going to make 100% next year, and you dump that to the shitcoiners.
In your opinion, do you believe politicians and bankers in Turkey understand Bitcoin and they are willfully deceiving people, or do they just not understand?
No,
sorry,
I'll go. I'll go.
Oh, okay.
I'll go with the first one. Okay, some of them really understand it because, you know, the CEO of BTC Turk, Kerem Tibuk, really understands it. You know, he is not into shitcoining. He is always telling people to, you know, use self-custody, even though he has the, you know, biggest Bitcoin and shitcoin exchange. Some of the people, some of the bankers, I know that they are buying as much as they can, but they are not really expressing it. Some of them are buying it and express the exact opposite because when, you know, hyper Bitcoinization happens, they'll be out of their job. They won't be needed anymore because what they're trying is, you know, interest rates are going to that, and you should buy this to get like 5% in the next year. Well, we don't need that, you know, in hyper Bitcoinization because it's going up. It's going up till the end of time. So they are buying it, I know, but they are not expressing their you know, thoughts.
Because ultimately, and none of us are better than our incentives. And if you feel like the prices, I mean, I've said this to people before, there's nothing I could say that's going to move the price of Bitcoin. So it doesn't really matter. It's too big now. But maybe about 10 years ago, somebody could have said something and it, you know, or Elon Musk could come out with something today. But generally, an individual would struggle to move the price of Bitcoin.
Even Elon is losing his power.
I think Elon's losing his power too. And he's, what is he, the second richest man in the world now or whatever? So if we've got to the point where the second richest man in the world can't move the price of Bitcoin, we've almost gone beyond the individuals, right?
Yeah.
And now we're getting into the, you know, maybe the hedge funds or, you know, insurance companies or governments or state governments or whatever in big countries. So, but
I think it's because, you know, they'll be out of their jobs. That's the reason.
Yeah, okay.
Probably.
And so they'd be out of their jobs because their jobs would no longer exist, or because their superiors would just have them immediately out the door.
Yeah. Their superior is going to call them, you know, don't do that, don't do this, because, you know, our firm is not going to be needed. If you say that, people are going to, like you and I do probably, you know, I will just take sats and, you know, just go do their shit, and you don't. No one will care about, you know, if the USD, that inflation rate's gonna do this, interest rate going up, down. Who cares? Just, you know, stack sats as you can do, and that's the gameplay. You know? And my people don't understand that because there are so many metrics going in Turkey. You know, inflation rate, interest rates going up, dollar is going up, euro is going up. Gold is down.
Yes,
gold
you're
is stable.
Constantly distracted by 100 other things. That's very difficult to focus on the one thing that really matters.
They don't see Bitcoin as the best money ever. You know, when I say that, just buy Bitcoin and, you know, stack sats as you can. Don't try to, you know, time the market. Don't, you know, left your Bitcoins on the Bitcoin exchanges because they are security holes. They don't get it now. And when the price goes up, they thought that they are late. They are not. I mean, it's their duty to know, to do their own research.
Yeah.
Because I did. If I haven't done it, I wouldn't buy it. I don't care. And by telling that, I think no coiners, you know, the people who don't think that Bitcoin has value, is more important than shitcoiners. because shitcoiners might probably get it, but trying to dump their shit to the everyday people.
So do you have a lot of or any kind of prominent Bitcoiners over there that are either in the podcast space or on YouTube or anything like that, or are they more again just shitcoins and crypto?
They don't discriminate Bitcoin. I mean, they don't talk shit on Bitcoin, but they're saying that there's Bitcoin, yeah, it's okay, but Bitcoin is at its limit. But there's this X coin, Y coin that can make 50x, maybe 100x. Those dog coins or NFT bullshit.
There's still a fiat mindset.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it is also true that there are coins out there that will 50x. I mean, I don't like it, but they'll also come down 50x at some stage as well. There are going to be there's not a shortage of gullible people coming in the door who might be persuaded to buy something. So there are going to be coins, the traditional like pump and dumps type schemes that have no value whatsoever, but they will still 10, 20, 30, 40, 50x, and people can get easily sucked in by thinking that they might be the next person to get on the 50x coin. But ultimately, you're going to be on the 50x coin that plummets back down to ground and never comes back.
And that's a problem too, because I think it is human nature that people want to reap benefit for very little effort. You know what I mean?
The free lunch.
The free lunch, the get rich quick. So everyone's immediately attracted to that because that's going to give them more immediate kind of reward than hodling.
And I was that guy.
Well, everyone is at some point, I think.
When I first got, I was repeating is the block. It's not Bitcoin. It's the technology behind. I was that guy. I was saying these things. I said those things to family. Like I know I meant it. I thought I knew what I was talking about. Sorry, if what was that?
Yeah,
I think it is.
It's part of the journey.
Okay, it's what.
But the more people that are speaking, the more knowledgeable voices that are speaking, and you allow at least listening to these sorts of people and hearing their opinion. At least there's people out there speaking about it, and there needs to be people everywhere because this is a global issue. Some of us are seeing the problems before others, but the changes that can be in countries that are really struggling just now are so monumental compared to other developed countries, and so because other developed countries are only going the other way. Ultimately, because it levels the playing field for everyone.
And to be honest, it's a new play for you guys. It's not for citizens of the nations which have high inflation for all these years. We know the gameplay. There's no running away from it. So we are kind of smiling, looking to the world, because now all the world is like a big size Turkey.
That's a really good way. That's a really good way of thinking about it.
We are all in our gameplay now. And I'm not against people buying shitcoins, by the way. I don't care. I'm a liberal. If you want to buy, stuffed air in a bottle, be my buy it. I don't care. It's your money. I don't care. If someone can, but when the value of what you get, I mean shitcoins, go down, I'll be making fun of you. Which we can translate it to Bitcoin maximalism, rude maximalism. They talk shit about you, they make fun of you, and it's there. I mean the toxicity. The toxicity is there for a reason.
There's it's the immune system.
It's needed.
It's the Bitcoin immune system.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't think that was mine. I read it somewhere.
I would have claimed it.
Like it used to bother me. Like people, like why do you need to talk to people like this? Why do you need to be so aggressive? And and then I realized that there's actually a huge value in that because now I'm not saying you should be like, I think I might have said this already. Like there's nastiness for the sake of nastiness is not good. But if you actually have somebody coming in with, I don't know if you listened to the Mark Cuban thing the other day. It was just,
I did.
It was painful. It was painful to listen to,
brutal.
Right? And he took a lot of stick afterwards. And I'm not, and as I say, nastiness for the sake of, but he came and he came and he wanted to force his opinion on other people. So if you come with that intention and your attitude, you have to be then prepared to take it back. So that's why I think the toxicity is the immune system. It's the immune system of Bitcoin. It's fighting back against lies, frankly. And then the cards then fall where they fall. But I mean, I agree with you. Like if somebody wants to buy garbage, go ahead. It's your money. Go buy garbage. But also, people should be allowed to change their mind, and when they're presented with new evidence, they should be allowed to go, okay, I got that wrong, and move on to the next thing. You just have to be humble enough to say, I got that wrong. And it's okay to get things wrong.
And
but we're not wrong about Bitcoin.
We're not wrong with it.
Yeah, when spending so much time in Bitcoin Twitter and listening all these pods and listening to legacy system, financial advisors, let me say, you start to understand that everyday Bitcoin maximalist or plebs know more than
yes,
those advisors. They don't know shit. They're just trying to sell their garbage, and they're marketing. They're working like a marketing team. So I don't know. Good luck on listening to that people, I don't know. I don't care. But if you do that, you're gonna suffer.
Yeah.
Suffer bad. You're gonna suffer bad if you're on the Mark Cuban team.
What is the buying of Bitcoin in Turkey? How easy is that? Is there friction with the banking system? Don't dox yourself, but are there what are the different avenues people can take if they wanted to buy Bitcoin and live in Turkey?
There's no much alternative. Okay, you just send money from your bank account to a Turkish exchange, and what I do is, I buy Bitcoin and
so excuse me. So you're saying as an exchange with all the shit coins on it? Yes. Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah. There is no such thing as
okay.
Bitcoin
If anybody's out there
Turkey.
wanting to have the biggest business in Turkey, was there like 85 million people live in Turkey? Set up a Bitcoin only exchange in Turkey. That is the biggest opportunity right now. Go and do that.
Yeah, it looks like that, but what most of the people say that you don't have enough coins, so we won't be using your exchange.
But don't have yeah. I guess that's tough. Yeah, it's very difficult for an individual to do that. But
yeah, I asked that to Kerem Tibuk, the CEO of BTC Turk, and he told me that he wouldn't want that too, but there's so much pressure from the citizens about shitcoining, so he had to do it. Now last week I got an email from BTC Turkey, which they are adding Shibu Inu.
I don't even know what that is. Is that a thing of Doge?
Yeah.
It's like a Dogecoin, but it's more like Chinese.
I just shake my head when I hear these things, but I try not to think about them too much. But it's frightening. It's people are just being taken for an absolute ride, and it's not right. But yeah, people are free to make their own mistakes. I guess it's difficult, but
yeah.
And just to sort of recap on your CP, your inflationary numbers. So we spoke on a pod a week ago or so about inflation CPI numbers that were published at about 19.4%, but you're telling me that's nowhere near. I granted that it's different for everybody, but as a general, you would say that's on the low side.
Yeah. It's like 45%. Okay. 44.
I mean, I looked at the Australian dollar compared to Turkish Lira just in the last year, and it's about a 23%. It's gone down against the Australian dollar about 23%.
Wow.
So as on top of the inflation that's been felt over there, and the Bitcoin, like if you think about it, it goes all the way.
Yeah.
So it's huge. So
you know why what they're using it for, the inflation rate? They're using the inflation rate for paying the personnel and workers who are working for government to increase their salary, because when the inflation rate is 20% and you want to increase their workers by 5%, you increase the salary by 25. So you say that above inflation, we raised your
Yeah.
salary about 5%.
Is the public sector growing in size in Turkey? Is it? Okay.
No, it's going down. Yeah.
All right. Is there anything?
There are so many people working for government in Turkey. It's like, I think the half of it, or something like that.
Is there anything else from a Turkish perspective you wanted to cover, or is there anything, Efe, you wanted to tell us about specific issues with Turkey, or do you want to have a chat about podcasting?
Yeah, we can get on podcasting thing.
Disclaimer, we've only been doing this
by the way,
3 weeks.
15 minutes,
yeah. Disclaimer, I'll be doing it in next week probably, or next month. Yeah, it's okay. I listened to your conversations. It's not boring at all. It's going good from my point of view.
Yeah, I mean, me too. It's been a revelation for me, the podcasting, because
that's great.
I'm not a great reader. I don't really enjoy the process of reading, and the podcasting has been.
So you listen to audio.
I've got a pod in my ear and do it multitasking, doing something else, listening to somebody, and it's.
Well, I rocked up tonight because I was running late to set everything up, and he's got Twitter Spaces going in the background.
Yeah, so Jake Woodhouse, they've actually there's an Australian Spaces thing just kicked off at the same time as we. Sorry, I had to leave, but I mean, it's happening everywhere, and it's great. It's great. You can't be involved in them all. You can't listen to everything, but it's great. I don't see that as it's not like you look at it as competition. You're cheering them on.
Oh God,
it's awesome. Go and do more of this.
It's awesome. It's just conversations online.
Yeah, that's it. It's like.
Last thing I want to say about Turkey. One Bitcoin is something like 600K in Turkish liras. In reality, it's 600 billion because in 2004 we removed 6 digits.
Sorry, can you explain that?
Yeah, let me explain that. On December 31st, $1 was like 1.3 million Turkish liras. Okay, the next day you woke up, so the government say that $1 is 1.3 Turkish lira. So they removed 6 digits.
Yeah. So
6 zeros
overnight.
It's
overnight,
like
right?
It's like Turkish. Yeah, overnight. It's like Turkish lira gained 1 million % overnight against USD.
What was the impact of that immediately?
Nothing, because it's just a makeup issue. What happened? Nothing has happened. It's just it was becoming too hard to calculate everyday things. If you go buy cheese, meat, it's like I don't know. 13,500,000
so it's just
or something like that.
Inflation has run to a point where the numbers are so large that they're ridiculous, so they just take off zeros off the end. But because of that, if you're looking at it compared to another currency, you're getting absolutely crushed.
Wow.
Yes. So it's about mindset. They are fucking with their people mindset, because when you wake up, it's like 1 equals 1. Okay, it's all the same. But it's, to be honest, in reality, it's 1 million. So I don't think it happened. So 1 BTC is now 600 billion Turkish liras. Without throwing the.
Can you give me? Sorry, I didn't. When did that? I remember that happening, but when was that? Sorry.
That happened on December 31st, 2004.
Okay. So.
Yeah.
So, but.
Way back.
If you are holding any Bitcoin at all, and or Satoshis at all in Turkey, and the Turkish government one day decide the same thing has happened and they want to devalue again, that will happen. But the Bitcoin will not change. Your Turkish lira will change, but your Bitcoin won't change. Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing changes, to be honest. They're just remove it all. Remove it 10 digits. Okay, let's say that $1 is 0.001 Turkish lira. What happens?
Well,
what changes?
Everything within the country doesn't change, but anything you were trying to bring in from another country just got 100 times more expensive. or 1,000 times more. Where was I? Were we?
No, not at all, to be honest. No, not at all. Because your salary is, going down 6 digits. Nothing changes. They are doing it for the calculation purposes, but they are bragging about it like we removed 6 digits. We've done this, we've done that. There is no practical reason for it rather than calculation purposes.
Okay, well,
yeah.
Billion sounds more, right? Billion, trillion. Oh my God, what's happening? When you say 1 equals 1.3, you say that, yeah, it's okay. It's not that much. To be honest, it's 1 million. Yesterday, but next day it's 1 equals 1.3. So that's an example how governments fuck their people's minds about.
Did the population think that was happening, or it just one morning it happened?
No, they say that they are going to do it.
Yeah.
Next year. It was expected, but I don't remember that much because it was like 15 years ago. But nothing happened. Some of the their fans cheer about it. You see how Recep Tayyip Erdogan removed 6 zeros from the currency. It's okay.
I mean,
so to be honest, when you looking at that perspective, 1 Bitcoin is right now 600 billion Turkish liras. Okay, let me put that. It's similar to Venezuela or something. When you go buy a chocolate with 1 million Venezuelan bolivars, it's something like that.
Yeah.
It's the same. I'm just I expressed it because it's just same. They're just removing zeros, putting zeros, changing the names,
Zimbabwe
changing
dollars,
this.
buy more marks and Venezuela bolivars. Same.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, do we want to move on to the podcasting? So you want to get started in the podcast space? You want to talk about what your plans are for that? Obviously, to give a voice or some education to the Turkish people.
Yeah. As I said, there's a gap between everyday Turkish people. They really can't understand it. They don't have time for it. They see number go up. They are becoming more stressed because they are not into Bitcoin. They don't see it as a long-term investment, or they don't have short time preference, low time preference. Sorry, they're living at high time preference because inflation hits hard. I want to talk about that stuff and maybe give some technical educational stuff too, because I was on Jimmy Song's course, programming Bitcoin. I took that. It was really beneficial. So maybe do some videos too. Why don't you guys, doing some video, rather than podcasting? Because of not doxing yourselves, or is there a reason?
I don't really know. I mean, I think
that's more from me. I am more concerned about the doxing side than Brendo is.
And I'm maybe because I'm just dumber.
I was, to be honest, I've wanted to, it's been a progression, but you just feel like you need to speak, get the points across, but it's not about the person so much, it's about the point. So I think if you stay more anonymous, it's more, you focus more on the point and don't become whatever it is that is. I mean, I've got no desire to be, like Bitcoin famous. That's not, there's nothing in that for me.
No, it's not about the fame, but some people express that they want to see the expressions of the people, the faces,
and
so they're saying that it adds more value to
I
the
did suggest that we actually get a few different masks for hats, so we could actually go ahead and do it, and stacking hats.
I mean, I think you're absolutely right. For some people, video will be a lot better, and some people might want to see the white of my eyes while I'm saying what I'm saying, just to see if they think I believe what I'm saying. You know what I mean? But that's not for me. But we're not just now. Maybe I'll change my mind. Maybe I will. I don't. For now, I don't want to. But for anybody who's willing to do it, I think it's a good thing.
I'm planning on not just podcasting. maybe newsletter like Mardiband too, or for maybe it won't be daily like he does, but maybe weekly, cover the news. And also I've been, on my Evernote, I've been, taking notes, podcasts about the topics. By the way, its name is Bitcoin ve diğer şeyler, meaning Bitcoin and other things. And other things don't include, of course, shitcoins and, blockchain bullshit, but it's more like Bitcoin and inflation.
Yeah, cool.
Bitcoin and,
so that's going to be the name of the pod, Bitcoin and other things. Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be the name. I created it. I bought a logo for it, and etc.
Can't wait to see it.
So what to do is ping. So firstly, where have you got a platform in mind you want to start recording to or publishing to, or how have you thought about that side of things? Or
yeah, Anchor. I'm on Anchor. It will probably work out. I don't know. I'll make.
So that's what we do.
That's
what we do. We use Anchor, and Anchor publishes out to
all of
everything basically.
Yeah.
But Anchor's free for anybody else who's thinking about starting a podcast about shoes. Go start your podcast about shoes and use Anchor because it's free. I think they make their money because they're owned by Spotify. So if you use Spotify music or whatever in your pod, I think there'll be an income stream there from Spotify. So I think that's how Anchor actually makes, because it's free. Otherwise you have to have it hosted somewhere and pay a hosting fee.
Yeah.
Are you guys editing the podcast?
Yeah, so at the end of each one, certainly with these Zoom meetings, you can set up Zoom to record the audio, and then it saves the separate audio files for you, and then I drop them into Logic Pro because I've got a Mac, and just kind of we've got a little opening track and the outro as well. So by the way, you can't use any track, right? No. So I did that. I'll put that together. I mean, to be honest, there are websites with royalty-free music. So you could theoretically
go on Fiverr and somebody.
Yeah, well, that's right. I'm sure you could go on Fiverr or something similar.
Listen, there's going to be a Bitcoiner out there listening who maybe is good at at music and or demos or intros or whatever you want. It's not my bag at all. But there's going to be somebody out there who
probably
who's keen on supporting you. Just ask. We'll try and help if we can. If there's something we can do, we'll put out there. So there'll be people out there willing to help. The one thing I would say, since we started this, we thought we were going to be talking to ourselves in a garage, which pretty much we are. But there's nobody said no to anything we have. We've been polite about it, but nobody has said no.
Oh no, Jack Dorsey's ignored me.
Excuse me, Jack Dorsey has ignored Brand.
Okay, I think he has the right
Jack,
to do it.
If you're listening,
some kind.
Yeah, no, I'd rather speak to Turkey. No, but seriously, I mean, people will help. Yeah, and particularly because you're doing something new. You're doing something that really isn't. It sounds to me like it isn't really in your geographic location. Isn't really being done. So I can see it have way more potential than us.
Bitcoins are really helpful at everything. They respond. They give their answers. They're trying to.
These toxic people were awful, really.
That's right. That's.
Yeah, these toxic people. If you are toxic, they respond good. But if you are not toxic enough,
I got a bit stick because I called them laser eyes a shitcoin. Because I'm not big on the. I think 100K is just such a low target that I never liked the laser eye thing. But I did it the other day and I got a bit of stick. So sometimes.
Well, I do have the laser eye on my profile.
Me too.
I am definitely minority on that one. So I'm okay with it.
So are you guys planning on always taking guests, or don't you have plans to increase the
my technical knowledge is very limited, so I don't know that I could actually really contribute in any meaningful way at the moment. The format that seems to be working for us is that one week we have a guest, and then the following week we just sit and chat. And I mean, so far that's just kind of how it's fallen.
Yeah, there's also
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just
Sorry.
well, there's also so obviously we're in Australia, and there's a
that's true.
the Bitcoin Bush Bash thing that's happening in a little town in regional New South Wales. So we are hoping to go along and do a bit of recording on that only with people that are, I should stress that only with people that are happy that we do that. We're not, push anything in anybody's face. So we are going to do a little bit of that if anybody's keen.
Yeah.
So interviews, talking with each other, and maybe a little bit of that.
Yeah.
But other than that, we have no grand plan as to where this is going. This is just, we're just talking to people and seeing where it takes us.
Yeah.
No, that's a problem for me, because there are so much people which know or talk that you can about Bitcoin. So I think I know some people on Twitter, 1971 bubble, Techmore. Yeah,
okay.
I know him in person. He'll be part of the podcast probably. Yeah, he is great. But that's it. I can't take any guest, because no one really. I can't put myself near anyone on this Bitcoin thing, because they immediately turn into shitcoins or trading or price targets and all that. So maybe next year, if I continue
just
doing
keep putting yourself out there on Twitter, I would say is the best.
Yeah, maybe that there will be some news and other things which, for instance, you don't cover, but maybe I'll cover that, because to replace the
I mean, you're a guy that's translated the white paper. I'm sure somebody's going to happily step up and help out if they can.
Yeah, step up, but I might not be happy about
So I would say on that we have not edited anybody at all yet. Like, we say to people that, we said to you at the beginning of the call, how do you want us to address you? I don't want to dox you as we're going through. Is there anything you're not comfortable talking about? We'll not talk about that. But if any of us, and it's generally Brendo, will dox me some point during
all the time.
So that's the only thing we've had to change. And I know actually that's not a complete truth. I was explaining something in the last pod, and I made a complete pig's ear of it. Terrible explanation. What was I trying to explain? CPI. Awful.
I mean, you got there in the end. I just had to trim that off.
I did, and so we trimmed it because I just sounded like the stupidest man there's ever been. But so if any,
no, because I've been listening to your post, I haven't listened to that. Because you take it out.
I'll tell you. Like, I'll just go into our. And Anchor is good for this. So for analytics. So since we have done, what is this? This will be our 9th. So we've done 8 pods. There have been 707 plays and an audience of 91. So we're not. This is not big by any stretch. That said, there have been people listening.
I'm stoked. I'm stoked with that. I think that's amazing.
I don't know. We've got nothing to compare it to, I suppose. But
I mean, people. 600 of those are me in the car just re-listening to make sure that. Make sure the audio is okay.
Unless you are in the Czech Republic, China, the UAE, Russia, Singapore, Portugal, blah blah blah. There's been people from about 25 different countries are listening.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's cool. I love it. The fact that I can look at this and go, somebody in Andorra
that's great.
has listened to this. It's crazy, right? And then it's predominantly male, as you would probably expect. About 90% male. 90.
What percent?
Come on, ladies.
Yeah. And then from 18 to 60 plus in age. What else is there to tell you? Apple Podcasts and Spotify make up 60% of the listens. So that's, everybody finds that. I don't know if everybody finds that. So,
what do you guys think about the length of the podcast?
I don't know. Like, if I see, I like the rabbit hole recaps, but sometimes if I see a 2.5 hour rip, I'm like, do I want to do that?
It's always good, but it's a long time.
It is, yeah. Other than Marty's 8,000 minutes of ads.
Well, yeah, he does ads. Well, yeah,
But that's another point, Are you guys planning on,
So we probably haven't spoken about this properly, but let's just do it now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well.
Why not?
Here's we are not monetizing this at all right now. We are making nothing. This is an enjoyment. But if somebody comes along and wants to sponsor us, then maybe we would certainly look at it.
Coinbase?
But if it's Coinbase, no, sorry, we're not having. If it's some shit, we're not interested. yeah, I'm not interested. So if that's all we get approached by, we have knocked back.
No, you wanted somebody approached you to go on the pod.
Yes, somebody did make contact with us to come on, and I don't really want to particularly go into it, but I went onto their website and I saw what was on their website and it wasn't for us, so we said no, thank you. So
yeah, it was related,
it was
right.
It was shitcoiny. It was Bitcoin and shitcoin. So we've got no interest in promoting the shitcoin. I don't want to lead somebody down the wrong path. So so we will say no to things.
I mean, you are not doing this for money.
No, but we're not heroes. Like if somebody comes along and says, who would it be? Cold Card, or come along, something like that, some really solid,
or Lolly,
or Lolly, yeah, or some really solid Bitcoin business.
Yeah.
We would say yes, I think, but I don't know. We'd have to look at it. I don't know.
As long as it's not 10 minutes of ads, because
we're not running 10. I can't deal with that.
No.
I don't know what is an acceptable amount of adverts. But
one.
I don't know.
Whatever.
But
what is more valuable though? Let's say that go forward in 50 years. Let's say your grandchildren will look at your podcast, and will tell that, oh, our granddad was so
I 100% agree
on this. Now we have billions, trillions. I don't know. It doesn't care. I don't care. It doesn't change much, but this is more valuable.
You can't, your dignity, your integrity, and all that. You don't get them back once you sell them. So, I mean, don't get me wrong. I've made poor choices in my life, as everybody has, but I don't try to.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So from that perspective, So the one thing we haven't really, I haven't looked into it at all, but on what do you call it, Anchor? You can.
Anchor.
There's a sponsorships thing on Anchor, which.
Yeah, I saw it, but
I've not looked at all. I assume it's just if once your numbers get to a certain level, they'll run a generic advert on your content, and that's a bit more like the YouTube model.
Like we don't get a choice.
Well, yeah. So that's why I would think most Bitcoin podcasters are reading because there's a the listeners connect with the person, so they want to. If the person's saying it, is a better quality of advert. But Anchor, like, I don't know, if you're doing a podcast on, I don't know, football, maybe you just have a generic ad and you're okay with that. But
if we're doing a thing about Bitcoin and then Anchor decides that they're going to put a Coinbase ad in front of us,
exactly.
Can they do that?
No, they can't. No, we have to sign up for the sponsorship thing.
Sorry, I thought all of a sudden we're going to have that. Okay.
And maybe you can say that to your sponsors when it does happen, we're just accepting Satoshis, not USD.
And then there's the other thing potentially, which we haven't looked at yet, but we should, is the sort of streaming via Lightning, with like some Breeze and whatnot. So I mean, technically that's beyond our. It's more just maybe it's not technically beyond us, but it's like just in terms of our workload just now, it's difficult, but we'll get there.
Yeah.
But that's all.
But then.
It may be too early for that,
Well, I think as well that model is based on actual streaming, live streaming, is it not?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So we'd have to do this live, and I will dox you.
Yeah, because anyone can record your
Isn't that not how it
voice
works?
and
I don't know. Maybe you're right.
I thought it was that they pay for. Oh, maybe not.
I don't know. I don't know. Well, I don't know.
All right,
something to look into.
We'll ask Ben.
Yeah, when you have a president, in your country, who says that he's against Bitcoin as a payment system, you don't deal with this shit because it's illegal, at least for now. But I'm using Lightning,
really?
So I'm a criminal now.
Is that right? Yeah.
No, I'm not a criminal, but from their point.
No, but of course, no. So excuse me, I don't believe you're a criminal. I just mean, are you Is it in Turkey you're committing a crime? No.
No, it's not like that. But
I understand. So it's it's the same. It's the same FUD. It's everybody's a shadowy super coder, and
I thought we had just had breaking news. Turkey bans Bitcoin, joins China.
Right, no, that's fine. I was like, I don't want to dox you now. But yeah, so that's and and the other thing is so I was doing this before Brendan, but so I have the website, so that I started that, but it's it's kind of become one and the same thing. So I'll begin with appointed people there, just from Twitter, from my Twitter feed, if anybody went there, and then
I bought the domain, but it's blank now.
Get your domain, you get yourself lined up in that sense. And then the other thing I should say is, so the numbers were like, what were they? Were 700 or something listens. But Brendo did this. What did you think that thing you did the other day? That little cut, that snippet.
Oh, Are We Right About Bitcoin?
Yeah, I don't know if you've heard that one, Effie, but so he did a thing of Are We Right About Bitcoin? It was just stupid. We thought we were funny.
I listened to that. It's great.
More importantly, right?
It's
So
cool.
So he put that onto Twitter. That thing has had. Let me see if I can find it. Can you find it?
Oh,
I've got it here. I think hopefully.
I think I pinned it on my thing.
It's like. Oh, here we go. No, mate. It's like 13,000.
What? Oh, views.
Listens. I don't know. You can find it, but it's
media views. Yeah,
and
what impression? I don't know what impression. 51,000 impressions. What the hell does that mean?
Oh no, that's the individual tweet. That's the tweets had 51.
Oh, times people saw this.
When you actually play the video that you put on Twitter, you can actually see views at the bottom.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
So 12,100 views. So we have had 7.
Yeah, is it good? Is it good or bad for you?
Well,
guys?
it dragged a lot of people to the Twitter profile, and then those people potentially might now listen to the podcast. So everything's just a circle, I guess, and it eventually points back in the all benefits each other. Yeah, but that's just so like of all 8 podcasts, we've had 700 and whatever people listen to the podcast. We've had 12,000 people listen to the silly thing on Twitter. Yeah, I don't know what's better. I mean,
it's. When you tweet something which is the basic thing, it's like some pump tweets, number go, it's good fun. I mean, like all, and it gets like 100 retweets, couple thousand likes, but it attracts people to your Twitter profile.
And maybe it might attract the wrong kind of person.
Maybe you shouldn't do that more. But you don't care. You just tweet and you forget.
End of the day, you've got no control over who's listening and who's following.
No, but we did that, and we pissed ourselves laughing for a day and a half.
Oh, totally. I mean, I liked it. It was fun.
But when you do that more like pump or the personal marketing thing, you are doing it as a personal marketing. It's not that great because, okay, man, you were early. Okay, I get that you are incredible. Okay, but why are keep marketing your personal?
Yeah.
Thing
I don't know.
I think, are you saying pomp as in
pump? No, he said pump.
As in the person on the
I think he's just marketing himself as an ex
you were taking a shot at us for a second there.
No, it's
got a little nervous.
So I mean, I think
no, that's my view. But it's also good for people, newcomers, because he's telling always the basic things. He doesn't go
when
so
I
much
first started
topics.
with the Bitcoin stuff, I remember Hats actually saying, "Look, there's these guys, and Pomp was one of them." He says, "Pomp's a great place to start because he is actually. I mean, he's getting worse now, I think, but he's very eloquent and argues really well about why Bitcoin's good and why it's going to be successful. It's a shame about all the other kind of shitcoinery, but." I've since moved on from Pomp. The only thing that's
the move. If you stuck with Pomp for all these years, I mean, maybe you just have to step up your Bitcoin game because you have to go further. Let's say Mardevans, Methodel, Seyfedin, that kind of stuff. Yeah, but it's a great place to start. I'm not,
It is. It's just I don't think Pomp's changed at all. I think you have.
Maybe that's.
But when you start shitcoining, there will be consequences.
Totally.
Okay. When you start, explaining Solana, people gonna get after you.
So I mean, we want to touch on it a little bit every now and again, not to explain it, but to try and explain why people should avoid it. Because if you just ignore it completely, which maybe that's the play, is just the right thing to do to play. But
I have said that I want to actually do that, get someone on to explain, because I don't understand any of them. Like the top 5 current ones, and say, what is it? Why do they think it's actually has any utility? You know what I mean? And just differentiate it.
Yeah, I know there would be people listen, and people would want to listen to that. I've got no interest in doing it, but maybe we do.
Because he knows marketing,
Yes, completely.
He knows.
Yeah. All right. Anything else you want to cover?
No, I'm good.
So what to do is anything you would. We'll obviously put your details down in the description on the podcast. And
yeah, my name is Efe. Efe Chini, Efe like EFECINI on Twitter, and I'm also starting a new Bitcoin podcast named Bitcoin ve diğer şeyler in Turkish. In English, it means Bitcoin.
So you've got the handle already, the actual
things.
podcast.
So yeah, I have everything: handle, Twitter, domain, everything, logo. I just have to record something, put some content. So yeah, that's all. If you have Turkish, families, friends, or who is interested in the Bitcoin, anyone can follow me and send me a DM or something. Ask something. I always respond immediately.
All right.
Very best of luck, and if there's anything that we can do at this end to give you a push as well. Not that we've got such a following, but we'll try.
Yeah.
And then if they're just shout, and I'm sure there'll be plenty of other people willing to help.
Yeah, you guys too. I really appreciate what you are doing as a Bitcoin maxi pleb. Let's say that's a value in it, and I hope that we all go.
All right,
do our things.
Thank you, mate. Really great to talk to you.
Thanks, Efe.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you.